You know, when it comes to the topic of masturbation, there are so many opinions flying around, but the actual facts, they can be surprisingly hard to pin down. Is it bad for you? Is it good for you? Well, let's cut through all that noise, strip away the myths, and take a look at what the science really has to say.
So what's the real deal? Is this just a healthy way to explore your own body, or is it something that comes with some hidden downsides? To figure that out, we've got to separate the hard facts from all the cultural stigma. All right, so first things first, let's dive in and tackle some of the biggest misconceptions to get to the truth of the matter.
And to even start that conversation, we've got to be on the same page about what we're actually talking about. When you strip it all down, it's a pretty straightforward biological act. By looking at it with this simple clinical definition, we can kind of set aside all the cultural baggage for a minute and just examine it for what it is. Okay, so what about the good stuff? Let's take a look at some of the documented health benefits, because yes, there are quite a few. And what's really cool here is how these things all connect. The act itself releases those feel-good hormones, endorphins, which is a totally natural way to lower stress. That feeling of relaxation, well, that can lead to much better sleep. At the same time, it's a safe way to understand your own body, which can be a huge boost to your confidence. And for men, there's even some pretty compelling research that suggests it might help lower the risk of prostate cancer. But hey, a truly balanced view means we have to look at the potential downsides too. So when does this cross the line and become a problem? This is where the word excessive comes in. When it becomes too much, the effects can start to spill over into the rest of your life. It can leave you feeling just physically drained or make it really tough to concentrate on your job or your schoolwork. For some people, this can kick off a nasty cycle of guilt and shame. And if it turns into a genuine compulsion, it can really start to mess with your social life and in some cases even cause physical pain. And this right here is the most important point to understand. The problem is never the act itself. It's when it becomes a dependency. That's the line between a perfectly healthy behavior and a compulsive one that's causing you harm. So if balance is the goal, how do you actually get there? How do you maintain that healthy middle ground? Let's talk about some practical habits. It really all comes down to redirecting your energy into other things that make you feel good. I mean, physical exercise is such a powerful outlet. So it's just getting into a state of deep focus with your work or your studies. And of course, pouring time into hobbies you love gives you a completely different, really creative kind of satisfaction. It's all about finding other ways to feel rewarded. So let's just put it plainly. This is not a crime. It's not some kind of moral failure. It's a natural part of being human. The goal, just like with pretty much everything else in life, is simply to find a healthy, happy balance. So we want to leave you with this question to chew on. When you think about all the misinformation and honestly all the guilt that still surrounds this topic, what do you think is the real price we pay for not having these kinds of open, honest, fact-based conversations?